And welcome back to the Director of Football, Journeyman with colo-colo on Football Manager 2020 with me, your host, Foggy Place. Today we are taking on Universidad Católica and Ado Italiano. As you can see, we are currently sitting 4th in the league after 10 games. A couple of teams in the league have already played their 11th game, but we've had a bit of a turn in form, which has been quite nice. Universidad Católica haven't lost a game yet, so hopefully we can be the first ones to beat them. Since you were here last in the game against San Luis de Quilita, we've gone and beat Deportes Iquique with a penalty. Figueroa scored in the 41st minute. Then against Cobrela, Manoslav. Oh, Manoslav scored himself a cheeky little goal. They scored a 91st minute penalty because Fonzilla? No, it was Salaberry. Triple player in the box. I've also renamed my backup right back, the one who Fundazella. I've nicknamed him Fonzilla because it's easier to say. Then we went and beat Deportes Antofagasta 3-0. Andres Munoz, who, as you might remember, played a little bit last year for us, brought him in. I think it was his first start of the season. Scored a brace, and then Salaberry also got one. We were 3 up at halftime, and I think they still haven't won a game. I think they've only had one draw so far this year, which came in the game just before we played them. Then we played Union La Calera, beat them 3-1. Salaberry, Munoz again, and Raquelme scoring a goal. All after Figueroa missed a penalty in the 4th minute, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the 4th minute. Figueroa misses so many penalties. It's, 4th minute. How many penalties has he missed so far? He's missed half his penalties. Still, he's not been terrible. So we're going into the games today against 1st and 9th as the table is at the moment. As you can see, at Deportes Antofagasta have actually picked up a second draw now, but they had only one draw at the time we played them. So I was terrified they were going to beat us because that's just how FM works. You know, that's how Mafia beat, but that's how FM beat. Universidad Católica, as I said, have only dropped points to Deportes Iquique, who we've beaten, and Cobrela, who we got a draw against. So they're not impossible to beat, but I'm still... for the month of June, we only play Union Española. We played them in the league, and then we have the Copa Chile second round, leg 1 and leg 2 against them, which is interesting that month we're just going to be playing one team. Home, away, home. Interesting. They don't care about the cup this year. I'll take it. I didn't realise that wasn't important. Fantastic. We don't have to worry about it, so I wouldn't mind winning it, but not overly fussed. We have been getting an awful lot of news articles about our under-19s manager taking over at different clubs. More than happy for someone to take him, because the guy who is, I think his name is Torres, the one who's being linked with taking over the club, if he takes over, he's putting Fabry in charge. I think that's the name of my under-19s coach, under-19 manager. Yeah, Fabry. If they take over, they're putting him in charge, and I don't want that because I want to stay here for the time being at least. So for the game today, we have to play Salnas in goal because Arturo picked up an injury just yesterday, I think it was. Zuniga, you'd be delighted to know, came back from his long-term injury. He was out for 3 months with a hip injury. Returned, and then the next day picked up a pulled knee ligaments in a game against La Penada Unida. Don't even know why he was playing that game, but we're without those two. Tapia is after picking up a knock, so he's not available. Delgado is coming back from his damaged cruciate ligaments. He's been given a new contract as well, as I'm guessing Director of Football decided good faith or something, I don't know. He's just given him a new contract, which by all means, the dude is quite good, so I have no problem with it. We're going to play Salnas in goal, Funzilla at right back, Cardozo continues at left back even though he wasn't meant to. Astorga and Gianto as our centre-backs, Salaberi as the DM, Molina and Figueroa as our central midfielders, Aguilera, it is Paulo Aguilera and Manoslav as our wide men, with Munoz up front. Riquelme sitting on the bench because he's not been in great form, and Ricardo Rivera is back from his injury, but he's going to sit on the bench as well because Munoz is scoring goals, and Rivera only had 2 before his injury. Munoz scored twice in 1 game, and he's scored in the most recent game as well, I think it was. So I am more than happy to leave him run around the pitch up front and see what he can do. He's quite good with free kicks as well, I have noticed. So I'm just going to leave him do the business, see what he can do, and hopefully he has a good game, because he's only 17, 20. He is 20. Why did I think he was 17? Anyway, this game so far, not much has happened. We do have an interesting situation where Astorga and Gianto's giving away a free kick. Why is Gianto standing over here? He's centre back, he should be like over here somewhere. Keeper manages to save that. This is Salinas' first league game, I think. He literally just fell over. Saying Cardozo tripped him, but Cardozo was going the opposite direction. Oh. Salinas, no. If that was Arturo has saved a few penalties this year. It's been nice watching Arturo. Salinas, just not quite the same. But nobody was expecting this. I wasn't expecting this game to be a good result for us, because it is an undefeated Universidad Católica. They are quite a good team. Munoz with a free kick. Gianto, it's the crossbar. Oh, Molina is frustrated. The Chilean international, might I add, is frustrated. I expect to see a better showing in the second half. We've not done well. The assistant has told the players that they were unlucky. Let's see if that works. Alright, Molina, if he gets booked, I think he might get sent off. But we shall soon find out, maybe. Gonna have to make a change. Yeah. Munoz is going to go on to the right for Aguilera. We're going to bring on Rivera up front, make you an inside forward on the right. Molina's really struggling, so take him off for Sanchez. What's your 11-12? What's yours? 16-15. You're the playmaker. You go advanced. Put you as the go box to box. Let's see what he can do as a box to box. Manoslav, just triple substitution. Fuck it, why not? Riquelme, you're not an inside forward. You cannot score for love nor money, so you're going to come on as an inverted winger on attack, and we are going to demand more for the final 20 minutes or so. Very attacking. Push forward. Funzilla to Riviera. Very deep for our lone striker, but alright. Gets it across. Was that Riquelme put it wide? Oh. Salinas with the goal kick to nobody. Where was my left back? Come on, we need to break. We need a break. Nunes. Oh, the defender just doesn't get there. Who? Cardozo. Oh. Borgosh might be starting the next game at left back, because Cardozo kind of annoyed me there. The fact that he didn't even attempt to go for that ball. Alright, let's push forward, come on. No. Okay, so we lose 2-0 in a game that, as I said, wasn't expecting anything from it. Now, I'm going to say I'm not happy, because we were pretty crap. Again, the assistant, unlucky today. It's fair enough, I'll give it to him. I'll allow that they were a bit unlucky today. It wasn't a great game, to be fair. Astorga. I don't know why Astorga isn't being called up now. He's called up for the last lot of, well, not the last lot, the lot before, and he just never got an opportunity. I don't know why, because Astorga's quite good. Anyway, we will be back in just a second for the Ado Italiano game, who I don't think they've played their 11th game yet. No, they haven't. There's a bit of a gap starting to open at the top. Universidad de Chile are 7 points behind Católica. Don't really want them getting too far away. And then we have Union Española. That's going to be an interesting month. We're going to have to play 2 of these games. We'll probably do the cup games, but it's going to be interesting to see how we get on. So we'll be back in just a second for the Ado Italiano game. Alright guys, back now for the Ado Italiano game. As you can see, we have dropped out of the top 4, and regardless of what we get today result wise, we are not going to go any higher than 4th. We can close the gap to 1 point off the Portes Iquique, but we're not going to finish today's episode any higher than 5th. We could, in theory, drop to 7th. Yeah. Well, no, we can't. We could drop to 6th. So it's 5th or 6th at the end of this episode we're going to be, which is delightful. This is how we're lining up for the game today. I think we picked up an injury. Did we? No, we don't have any new injuries. So we have made a couple of changes for this game. Funzilla is going to actually play this game. Salinas continues in goal. This time as a sweeper keeper on defend. I think he was a goalkeeper in the last part of the episode. Funzilla and Borgus. As I said, Borgus is going to come in because Cardozo didn't do well enough in the last game. Storga and Gianto are going to start as our centre backs. Salaberry in the defensive midfield position as a ball-winning midfielder. Melina is going to continue as an advanced playmaker on attack. Figueroa is going to be as a Mazzella on attack. Paulo Aguilera is going to continue on the right, with Riquelme starting on the left, and Munoz is going to start up front because he has the best average rating in the last 8 games he's played. So let's get into it, see how we get on. Riviera sitting on the bench might come on and make an impact. He is a little bit short on match sharpness, as you would expect. He's been out injured for about a month, I think it was. So he's not fully fit. Munoz has surprised me so far this year. As you can see in the background here, it's taking a long time for the team to warm up. A lot of players aren't very familiar with the role I'm asking, with the familiarity isn't great, but it's fine. I'm not overly worried about it. They're playing a very central style, so I have told the players to play wider. We have to be better than we were last time. Yeah, better performance. I was going to say we want revenge, but this team don't seem to enjoy revenge, which is interesting because I've noticed that teams generally do enjoy revenge against teams that have beaten them previously. Not this team. In between the 2 episodes, or the 2 parts of this episode, we had a meeting with the board who said results aren't good enough, explain yourself. So I said injuries, and they said yeah, that's true. So we're getting to keep our job for a little while longer, but for how long is the main question. Our under-19s manager, the one that I was saying is the favourite to take over if we get a new board, Aguilera just puts it wide. Fabri, our under-19s manager, who I think his name was Torres, was favourite to take over my job if he was to buy the club. That was terrible defending. He's favourite to take over at a club in the division below, and it gave me the option to ask him not to leave, and I've said no, he can leave by all means. He can leave, and I will have no issues with it. Riquelme with a terrible corner, Gianto to Astorga, both my centre backs. Not really ideal for them to be the one looking to get the ball. Riquelme can't get the crossover, but Aguilera tries to get a crossover with a man standing in front, but Riquelme picks up the ball, and Munoz, he's headed over. So yeah, we're hoping anyway that the under-19s manager does leave, because then it means that they have to find a different manager. They can't just promote from within, which would be nice for me, because my job is already on the edge of us losing it, and I don't really feel like moving clubs again, because we've not been at colo-colo all that long, and we've not been in South America all that long, so another move wouldn't be ideal, but if it has to be done, then I suppose it will be. But I'm enjoying the colo-colo time relatively well, or relatively good. It's fine. But Molina has just scored from a cross from Riquelme, who I think he knows today he doesn't have anyone that can come on for him, because Manoslav didn't make it onto the bench, and because, you know, I'm a clever manager, forgot to put a player who plays quite a few games on the bench, and Navarro, who I also play as an inside forward on the left, he isn't on the bench either, because I put Riviera there for some reason, because Munoz can play on the right. Actually, that's probably what Munoz puts us 2-1 up in the 49th minute, so 4 minutes after half time. The lads come out, the team talk clearly worked, because we're having a bit of a time. Munoz, keeper really should have done better there, it has to be said, but I don't mind. I'm going to ask the lads a bit of creativity. Pressured two of my players, of course. Aguilera having a bit of a mare, but we do have a right winger on the bench, so could make that change. Our left back's not having a great game. We do have two players on the bench who can play left back. So Molina wins the ball. Aguilera back to Molina, to Funzilla, Salaberry, Aguilera back to Salaberry. Brings the ball when midfielder puts Aguilera through, and keeper with quite a good save. So I'm not going to be too annoyed with him. Astorga tries to get a crossover, doesn't, and now he's out of position. And Italiano are on the break, but Salaberry gets himself booked. Aguilera, you're coming off. You are really, I was going to bring him off anyway, but then his rating plummeted, so he's come off. Borges is having a poor game, so bring on Cardozo to play in his position, and I'll pop him back to support and see if his rating increases ever so slightly. I think Funzilla is the next on the list to come off, because he's booked and he's not playing that well. So yeah, we're going to take Funzilla off for Saavedra. And 4 minutes remaining. I'm going to demand more. Salaberry picks up the ball. Figueroa jukes his man. Has Riquelme, himself and Riquelme can't decide who wants the ball. It's just a terrible cross then. Aguilera back to Saavedra. If Saavedra makes a mistake here, I'm going to be pissed. Gets the ball over. Gets past Munoz. Riquelme picks it up to back post. Jonathan Aguilera, substitute, scores the third. Tactical genius right here. Bring on a guy who can play the position, but not as well as the guy who started the game. Originally, Jonathan Aguilera was going to start the game, but instead I started with Paulo. But now I think Jonathan probably deserves to start the next game. We finished the game 3-1 winners. We cement our place in 5th, and now we are 4 points behind Universidad de Chile. Nice victory, well done lads. Paulo, dropping the performance was terrible. Man of the match was Cesar Molina. Looked to switch off after he told me he had played really well. You know, it's just what you expect from your players. You know, played really well. Give you a pat on the back. Well done. Now, what do you mean I played really well? So Paulo Aguilera is one appearance away from getting a pay increase. Definitely won't be the next game that he gets that. Wonder now, will he be pissed if I No, really happy. Okay, fair enough. Salinas, delighted. My team talk was fantastic. We know. Okay, that's just a player being mentioned for the other team. So as you can see, February is being linked with the Santiago Morning and the Santiago Wanderers job. Santiago Wanderers were relegated last season, and they are currently sitting in 9th. And Santiago Morning are 13th. So hopefully February goes to one of them. I wouldn't mind if he did, to be fair. That would be ideal for us. Oh, I forgot we've got a new centre-back arriving in June. This is delightful. We have a Peruvian joining us. So when are we going to come back? Well, as I said, probably going to be the Union Española games because they're important. So we'll do both legs of the Copa Chile Cup. Or do we just come back for Universidad de Chile and Palestino? Ooh, I kind of feel like we come back for the second leg of Union Española and Universidad de Chile, because Universidad de Chile, second in the league, could be a rather important game for us, and that'll bring us to about that should be the halfway point of the season. So the game against Union Española is the halfway point. Then we have the 2 cup games, and then we start the second half of the season. So yeah, we'll play the Union Española second leg, see if we get into the third round of the Copa Chile, and then Universidad de Chile, and see how we get on in July. Quite a gap for us there. 16th, is that the new guy is going to... Yeah, the new guy will be here for the second leg as well. So he might actually get an opportunity to play in these games if he's good enough, which I don't know if he actually is. We might get a new scout report just to make sure he's actually good at football. He's only played 14 games. That being said, we could still be sacked. You never know. We have to wait and see. They're disappointed that we're not in the top 4. We're 12 games into the season. Calm down. And players are happy. Everyone's happy. How's the dynamics? People like me. Half the squad like me. That's fine. Nobody opposes me, which is delightful. So, if you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends. Hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.